All right, grant beneficiaries are apparently still confused about which card to use to draw their grants. They have been given new cards as the Social Security Agency and Post Office prepare to take full control of the grant distributions. Sassa's contract with Cash Paymaster ends in September. The agency's spokesperson, Paseka Letsatsi, is here in studio and is here to answer all the questions. Paseka, thank you for joining us. First of all, there have been multiple complaints from grant beneficiaries about the Sassa cards. I want to know about that, but most importantly, where and when did this confusion start from?
No, good morning, Richard, and good morning to the viewers at home as well. I think the confusion started when we were moving from the old white Sassa cards to the new gold Sassa cards. And then in that process, there were people who were trying to piggyback in terms of the transition to confuse our beneficiaries so that they do not necessarily migrate to the old white Sassa card to a new gold Sassa card. You know, every time when there's a change, there will be people who try to interfere or who try to come up with certain processes to confuse the whole situation.
Okay. Can you paint a picture on what's the difference between the cards?
The old Sassa card, the white Sassa card, had problems associated with it, with its own good practices. The problem which existed was that we had people getting deductions. A person will wake up and say, Paseka, I don't have a cell phone, but 100 Rand was deducted from my account.
Right.
Someone will say, I bought electricity. However, when I go and withdraw money, 200 Rand is missing. Correct. So those were the problems which we experienced as an organization. And we took a decision that this new Sassa card, you would not have the deduction except the 10% which is allowed for funeral cover. Okay.
Now, these glitches that you eloquently spoke about, how are you going to prevent this from happening again?
Look, Richard, I think we did not start, this new Sassa card did not start operating now. We started operating last month. I mean, people got their money without any hassle. Hence, maybe we were caught with flat-footed. However, this month we experienced those particular glitches in the sense that when people go in withdraw the money, it will take longer. The system will take longer and so on. And I think both the CEO of Sassa and the South African Post Office instructed their regional representatives to say, we need to work 24/7 to make sure that the process is up to speed. We can safely say now, Sassa met with SAPO a day before yesterday, with all role players, Reserve Bank and so on, the PAS and so on, to make sure that the process is a little bit faster. We had said if the process persists, we're going to try to ensure that we give people social relief of distress. However, that particular process was suspended because the system as of late afternoon yesterday was up and running.
Okay, obviously beneficiaries have been complaining that they couldn't access their monies. Is there a process, a step-by-step process in which they can take to correct any difficulties?
Look, I think as an organization, we profusely apologize for the inconvenience which will cost to our beneficiaries because this is not supposed to have happened. However, we think that the program that we are using, the process which we got the progress report, we've been getting progress report every hour, and we were told that the process is up and running. Yesterday we got the report which made me sleep very peacefully last night, that in Umtata, where there was a problem, at 3:30 yesterday, the queue was gone. People got what was due to them. And that made us feel very relieved. But there are pockets where there were problems. Ekuruleni, I was told that there was a problem. In Kimbala, I was told that there was a problem in Khalishu as well. However, an instruction was given by the CEO that in case where people experience a problem with the card, they must just make sure that the social relief of distress in terms of food vouchers is given to the beneficiary.
All right. Do you have a call center, a toll-free line in which individuals can call to sort out their various complaints?
Yes, our call center has been activated. Our call center has been beefed up to make sure that it takes all these particular volumes of calls. The number which would want people to call if they experience problem is 0800 60 10 11. That's the number which beneficiaries must call to make sure that they raise their issues with us.
Okay. And finally, before we let you go, is there any final word to our vast majority of citizens and that are viewing this show regarding this your Sassa card, what would you say to them?
Look, what we're saying is that we apologize unconditionally for the mishap, but secondly, we think that the people must bear with us. This card it's coming with good things, because the intention is to make sure that we cut problems in the long term, which beneficiaries have been experiencing.
Okay, so any future plans for Sassa regarding pensioners and beneficiaries down the line? What other plans do you have to alleviate their suffering and make things easier?
Yeah.
Things in the pipeline, basically.
No, what we're doing, we are going to make sure that going forward,
yes,
on the 1st of August, where beneficiaries don't experience the same problem, we are going to test. We were caught with flat-footed because last month there were no problems. But we think it's important for us to make sure that 2 weeks before the pay date, at least we continuously do the test so that we don't experience this problem. We just want beneficiaries, when they go get their money, they must get it without any hassle.
Okay, spokesperson for Sassa, Paseka Letsatsi. Well, my producers, they insist that I put you on the hot seat. We don't just want to let you off the hook just like that, because obviously there has been complaints, there has been concerns over insurance, clothing accounts that beneficiaries have. Now, these new cards, do they allow for these?
No, you see, that's the good thing about the new card. The new card, like earlier on I said, people used to complain every month.
Insurance, clothing accounts.
Okay. A person will say, I have never signed anything about this insurance, but 500 rand or 300 rand was deducted from my pension. But let me just make an example which is very interesting. You only die once.
Yes.
You don't die 5 times or so on. And in some instances, we find beneficiaries having 5 insurances, and which they don't even know anything about it. This new card is waterproof. We have just made sure that only 10%, as per the legislation, can be deducted, especially for funeral policy. But this 10% can only be deducted from old age on any other grant except the child support grant, because from 350 or 370, if you take 200 rand for a funeral policy, you are making the child to be left with absolutely nothing. So this is watertight, at least together with Black Sash, who are together on this thing, because Black Sash has been hammering on this thing, especially on illegal deductions. And we have come to the party, we have made sure that this card can only allow 10%, which must be of a funeral cover.
Okay, Paseka Letsatsi, I was about to let you go. Like I said, you're in the hot seat. My producer really wants me to ask you this question. What measures are there to assist pensioners who can't get to the Sassa offices to swap cards? You know, some due to financial issues and health reasons can't get there. What do you have in place to assist them?
We do have an intervention in those particular instances, especially beneficiaries who can come to our offices. We do what we call home visits. We go
home visits.
We do home visits. Yes, we do home visits. We go to their places. We enroll them from where they are, because, I mean, quite frankly, you cannot expect a person who is frail, sick at their bed to come to our offices to do enrollment. So because we are a caring organization, we definitely go to where they are. That's why I'm saying we call it home visits.
Okay, spokesperson for Sassa, Paseka Letsatsi, you are officially off the hot seat. Thank you very much, and thank you for your insight and analysis. It was interesting talking to you.